the county continued to grow, life is not merely consists of survival anymore. Leisure and entertainment also became important with citizens. Ball teams, swimming holes have been popular for years, even bathing beauty contests. The Criterion Theater, built in 1910, was the home of numerous stage shows during its day, but it would soon be replaced with the opening of the fancy new Rodgers Theater in 1949.
I know my brother Jim and I don't agree on very much, but there's one thing we always agree on. We sure won't ever forget the night this spring when the Rodgers Theater opened. Jim was 8 and I was 13.
I was 7.
You were born in 1941 and your birthday's in April. You were 8.
Oh.
The last thing Mom said to me before she dropped us off in front of the theater was, I'm trusting you to keep an eye on your little brother, and don't miss the bus home, but if you do, call a taxi and we'll pay as soon as you get home. Really? My mom didn't think I was old enough to be responsible for anything. I wasn't about, so he's my little brother. Would you get over here? At least that's what I thought. Keeping up with him turned out to be harder than I thought it would. I lost him twice while we were in line.
I had to come to cracks in the sidewalk.
The line was long. I guess everyone in Butler County must have been there. And there was a movie camera at the front door, and they were taking movies of everyone who went in.
I didn't like the lady at the ticket stand.
Why?
She wanted 35 cents each. That was terrible. We only had to pay 15 cents at the old Criterion.
I know, but you didn't have to argue with her.
I wanted to save money for popcorn.
Then they had the ushers take us to our seats. Boy, was it huge! I thought it was the biggest place I'd ever seen. And the seats were soft and everyone was dressed up nice. Jim wanted to sit up in the balcony. He thought we could see better from up there. I guess he was right. But I didn't see how you could get a bad seat in the whole place. I mean, the screen was so big, and the seats were steep. We were afraid if we leaned too far forward, we'd fall all the way down and land on somebody.
And that's when they started showing movies of all of us up on the screen. When it came to me, I made faces like this.
Yeah, those were the ones we were talking about. Everyone there at the movie that night was on the movie screen, even some of my friends from school. After the movie started, Jim decided he wanted some popcorn. Mom had given us enough money for a popcorn, a soda pop, and the bus ride home. I counted it out. But as I was going down to the refreshment stand, I thought, what if I come back and I can't find him? I thought it was the biggest place I'd ever been in, and if we got separated, I might not ever see him again. And I could just hear my mom's voice in the back of my head saying, what do you mean? You lost your little brother?
So you made me go with him, and I missed part of the movie. Brady cat.
You'd have seen more of the movie if you had disappeared twice when we were
It
downstairs.
wasn't my fault. You were supposed to be keeping an eye on me.
Anyways, the movie was great. I never wanted it to end. I love westerns. But soon enough, the movie was over and it was time to go home.
That's when we really got in trouble.
After the movie was over, everybody sort of scattered. We went to wait on the bus. We had our money ready, 5 cents each. The sign was supposed to say South Poplar Bluff, but several buses came and went, and we never saw one with the right sign. And then, suddenly, there were no more buses. We didn't find out till later that the bus driver had forgot to change the sign.
That's when he decided that we'd walk home.
That was all right. Vinegar Hill wasn't that far.
It was the way we went. You should have called a taxi like Mom said.
I didn't have the money. If you were a taxi cab driver, would you pick up 2 people who couldn't pay for it? I didn't think so. So we ended up walking down Vine Street towards 11th Street. It was really dark, but we were close. I knew my mom would start getting worried about us. When we got to the Catholic cemetery, I knew we were only a couple blocks from the house.
That's when we outran the dogs. There must have been 100 of them. Now I know what meanest junkyard dog stands for.
It wasn't a junkyard, it was a cemetery. And I'm sure there were no more than 3 or 4. But we ran for our lives anyway. We ended up running all the way over to Highway 67 until we couldn't hear the dogs anymore. Then we went down 53 towards the viaduct and came around the back way on 11th Street. I was actually pretty glad to have my little brother along.
Yeah, I suspected, but it took us forever. It was 3 in the morning when we got home.
It was not. But it was late, and the house was really quiet.
That's because nobody else was home.
Mom and Dad were out looking for us. They were going up and down 11th Street, worried sick. We missed each other all the way around. When Mom and Dad finally did get home, they were as happy to see us as we were to see them. One thing's for sure, that's a night I'll never forget.
Yeah,